Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of Project Architect 2, and in today's episode we are going to be diving right into another one of the adventure mods, which is not necessarily an adventure mod, but you have to do a little bit of adventuring to obtain it. So we are going to get focused on Farmer's Delight, but before we do that, let's look in this chest. Oh, we can already see it's 26 red matter, which is 12 million added to our 55 million that we had. As you see, we added a little bit more here. So come over here, we got a little farm spot for animals. If we come down here, down the stairs, go in here, this is where our Farmer's Delight area is going to be. And this is just kind of the area I have set up. It's not a final product, but it's just something to get us started. And we do need animals for this because we need stuff like we need milk. I believe we can get the chicken and we can get the fish raw and then don't have to worry about that. So we might have to do a little bit of fishing. We'll have to go to the nether for hoglin and we're gonna have to get some crabs. We have special ways of doing that. But I do want to look at this cow in a jar recipe, which provides milk, which we might have to try this, which takes a milk bucket. But what we did is we used some creature catchers, and in between episodes I went, or mob yoinkers, and in between episodes I went and grabbed a few farm animals, which was like a cow, 2 cows, which to use these all you do is shift click and it picks it up, so it's very helpful. We got 2 chickens so that we can breed the chickens, and we got 2 sheep just to have 2 sheep. And that's just using the yoinkers, mob yoinkers. Super easy to use. And then now if we wanted to, we could take a bucket, which we have a bucket of milk, but grab that. Now we have a bucket of milk. And now we should be able to actually craft this. Which is like that. And then we will have to breed these cows real quick. We can breed those, we can breed the sheep just to say we bred them. Oh, don't let our chickens out. Grab some seeds and then breed our chickens because we'll need some chickens later on. We have our cow, so if we grab our yoinker again. Mob yoinker. Pick up one of our cows. We need an anvil. Anvil. Should be able to craft one of those just like so. And then now it says if we place this down with the cow on top, I don't believe that worked. Pretty sure our cow just died. See if we can grab another cow and see if we can do it again. Look, there's one right here. So if we put this down, the cow on top, there we go. Now we should have this just creating milk, I guess, which is actually very helpful because we don't have to run back and forth between the cow. Yep, that's just generating, buckets of milk, which can be moved later on. But that is the milk out of the way. But we need a stove, we need a cooking pot, we need a skillet, and a cutting board. So let's make this if we can. Make that, boom. There we go, we have our stove. We have our cooking pot. And then we can have our skillet. And then our cutting board. And now what we'll do is we'll place the stove right here. I think we can place the pot on. And then if we grab, let's just grab a furnace for now. Toss our furnace down. I believe we can set this on top. Yep, just like that. We need a spot for our cutting board. Is there a table? It's like a regular, like decorative table. Side table. Just grab the frame block, put it down, put our cutting board on it. Just like so. So now we have those things down. And to get started into our first task, which if we look right, let's open up the quests. If we look at we got quality of life. We finished a few things. We got a slingshot, builder's gadget, and the mob yoinker done, which gave us a squid plushie. What we need to do is we need to make chocolate. And to make chocolate, it is sugar, cocoa beans, and milk in a blaze burner, or in a mixing thing with a blaze burner powering it, and it will make milk. So we need to grab sugar, cocoa beans, which we have plenty of that. I'm not even gonna grab the sugar out of our inventory because we have so much over here, I guarantee it. Yeah. This is just getting filled up. Oh no. Those are supposed to stay in there. That's cleaning up. We got our sugar. We have cocoa beans. We just need our milk. So now if we go cocoa beans, take a stack of cocoa beans, and then if we grab a bucket, we have a bucket of milk already, but we'll grab another bucket. Like so. And then now if we come over here, we do need to get this mixing. And for us to do this, we just need to grab this up. And we need to give it some rotational force, which we can do that if we go at create. I think it has to be with a small cogwheel. But if we toss a big one right there, might have to turn this down. Oh, not what I meant to do. Might turn this down. Want that to go right there. Now we should be able to put that on there. Put our blaze burner down. This down. Grab some coal. The blaze burner up and going, and now we just need our sugar and milk. That'll mix up, and we should be able to pull our chocolate out. Boom. So now we have 2 buckets of chocolate. And to make the chocolate covered barrel, we're gonna have to make this spout, which isn't too difficult to make. It is just going to be copper casing. So we're gonna need we're gonna need log, like so, and then I believe just copper. Might be copper plating. What we will have to see. Nope, it's just a copper piece. Put that down. Just make 8 of them. Okay, and then to make the spout, like that. It does need to have this content of a spout cannot be accessed manually. Instead, pipes can be used to supply it with fluids. So we do have to set up copper tanks. All right. Creating fluid manipulators. We are going to need some tanks. Tanks, fluid tank. Boom, which is super easy to make. To be able to press some copper down. All right, and then that's gonna need a depot. Make a depot. All right, let's grab some more tanks. 2 is just fine. Let's be able to put that right there. And now we need to pump it, which we can do pretty simply, I believe. All this can be automated, but we don't really need it automated because we're not going to do this very often. So what we need to do is we need to get, which I believe, so if we go at create, we do have this already. So all we have to do is put that in like that, and we can actually remove this one and then make a, where is it at? This right here, just like so. So that'll be going in there like that. And all we need to do is connect that with some rotational power, which we should be able to do quite easily. Because if we wanted to, I believe we can. How do we want to do this? Might be best to do this over here. No. Okay, now this wants to work. Oh, because it was going off of that, which is fine. So we should be able to bring this up and over. And now any fluid that we put in here. Okay. Okay, you can pull fluid out. Oh no, you have to pump fluid in too? Let's grab a tank. Place that down right there. Like so. And then let's do this like that, which again, we only need one. Fluid valve. Oh. Smart fluid valve. Okay, so all right, so now we got to figure out. So right here, so we have a tank that was holding our chocolate being pumped out of into a fluid tank, which then that was being pumped into a chocolate or spout to dump out chocolate, which we probably could have just done by just using just the tank, but it is what it is. And so now all we need to do is take our sweet berries, like so, put them right there. And that's making our chocolate sweet berries, which I don't know how much it actually, I think it takes 250. Yeah, it looks like it takes 250. So then we have 4 chocolate glazed berries, which works out. We can put all this stuff back, because I believe that's all we were going to need create for. So that's done. So if we go back here, look at our adventure tab, that is the first row done with the chocolate berry. Now we need to make cooked whole. Well, we'll skip the cooked whole crab. We'll go into the roast chicken. And to do that, we will need some coal. Just put in here. And then we are going to need to make chicken, which we can do that. Have that cook up the chicken. And then we're going to need some carrots, which we have carrots. We are also going to need baked potatoes. We're going to need some potatoes. So we're making some baked potatoes right now. We're also going to need some bread. We're going to need onion. Do we have onion? We should have onion. Onion. We don't have any onion. Oh, there's wild onions. Do we have onion seeds? We do have onion seeds. We can grow these real fast, no issue. And we can actually start, you can use the harvester ring, because there's a ring in here. This ring right here, the harvester goddess. Whoa. Now we have onions. Do onions have a EMC value? Yes, they do. So now we can go to our tablet. We can toss all up. I just didn't have to toss all those in, because we're going to need the carrots, onions, potatoes, and so that's onions and chicken done. And we have the bread, we just need the bowl. Let's make the bowl. And then an egg, which I believe if we search it up, we have plenty of eggs. Yep. Now we just need our baked potato, and now we should be able to craft a roast chicken dinner. Might as well craft a few of them. Which we don't have any more cooked chicken, but we have the roast chicken dinner in there now. So that one's done. There's a shepherd's pie, which all we're going to need is a milk bucket, which we can do that. Which I don't think they have an EMC value. No, it doesn't. So we'll just toss a couple in there so that we have it. So now if we go back to the shepherd's pie, only thing we're missing is mutton, which we have some of that, so we can cook some of that up. And we'll be able to make our shepherd's pie. We don't need the cocoa beans, don't need the sweet berries. So the sweet roll is just regular milk on a piece of bread, so we can actually take some of our milk. And we can bring it out here. We can just toss it in here, which will put it in there. And we can toss some bread down. Now we have the sweet rolls created. So that's another one done. Come back down here, we have our lamb chops, throw those in there. Shepherd's pie. We have created the shepherd's pie, we can create 2 of them. So our shepherd pie is in there. Now we're on to the final ones. So we need cooked whole crab, which we can do this. We just have to get raw crab legs. And then I think we have rice, and we can get dried kelp. Um, and then there is the kelp roll, salmon roll, like the whole rice roll medley, and then the stuffed hoglin. So what we'll do first is go do the stuffed hoglin. So for that, we have to go to the nether. We have to grab a few things. We have to kill a hoglin for one. Which, do I have another nether spot? Lava farm, I do. Nice. Okay. I want to say, is it these mushrooms that I'll need? Or is it, so I need warped roots and crimson roots. And then I also need warped fungus and crimson fungus. So we need to find a warped forest and a crimson forest, which we can do that, no issue. We also need to kill some hoglins, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. So let's go find this forest real quick. I'll be right back. So we found a crimson forest. So now we need to get we needed the crimson roots and crimson fungus. So we have that now. Now all we need to do is find a warp forest. I also was able to kill a few of the hoglins. I believe we have everything that we need from the hoglins. Oh, we got the hoglin loin, but we need the ham also. So we are gonna have to kill some more hoglins because we are gonna need the ham. So as I look for the warped forest, which we might have just found one, but I did just find a warped fungus, which we do need. This also looks like it's turning into a warped forest. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so here we are coming up on the warped forest. So now we just need to grab this glass, which we have grabbed. So we're good on that. Last thing that we need is to get the ham from the hoglin, which we just have to find some hoglins. I'm pretty sure it's just a random spawn for them. So I'm just going to be trying to get some to spawn. We found a hoglin. And so what I learned from reading the quest is that you need something lighter than the sword. So that must mean a knife. So I'm pretty sure we have to kill this thing with a knife. And it'll give us our lamb. Which that one did not, probably because it was not a full grown one. But I did see one on the map in this direction, so we'll go over there and we'll find this guy and we'll have to fight him and kill him with just, which he doesn't run away, so it's not that bad, I guess. There we go. Oh, so we got our hide, we got one ham, so we need one more hoglin to kill with our knife. So we can check the mini map, see if we see any. Yes, there's actually quite a few. This way. That one's not gonna give it. This one will though. Oh, taco. There we go. That should be everything for that. So we can go home now. Go back over to our Farmer's Delight area. Toss anything in here that can go in there. And the rest can go in our inventory. And then now we need to craft the nether stew, which we can make the bowls. And then I want to make sure we have like warts, yep. Crimson, yep. Okay, I just didn't want to use it all and not have it later on. So what we need to make is this nether salad. We made 64 of those. Okay, that works. And we need to make one raw stuffed piglin. And then we need to throw, I guess we can throw them in a pot that is fired by a furnace. Takes 20 seconds. Doesn't say how long that takes. So we'll just do it that way. So we can grab our nether stew. Like that, and in 20 seconds we'll have that completed. Cooked mutton's done, raw good, this stuff's done. And then we are gonna have to make a warped egg, or a golden egg. And to make a golden egg, it's actually super easy. So you need to, what we're gonna need to do is power our device, which is starting to run out pretty fast, it seems like. Do that. And then we go to our quest real quick, we can look. So we are 7 out of the 9 done. We just need to do the crab and sushi one. So then we can toss that in there. And now we just need to do the crab and sushi one, which we have 81 million right now, which isn't bad. But so crab and sushi, so to make the crab and sushi, we are going to need salmon and cod and kelp and rice, which, let's see if we have rice. We do have rice. Salmon. Cod. We do have cod. So now all we need is raw salmon, which you can kill it or you can fish for it, which we're just gonna fish for it, because that shouldn't take too long. So when I have the salmon, I'll be right back. What is it? So can you? There we go. All right, so we did just pull our raw salmon, which it only took us 2 times, thankfully. That way that we don't have to, if we grab our cod, grab our salmon. So now we have our salmon. Now all we need to do is we need to cook some rice, which is in a pot. You need a bowl down there with some rice. So let's create some bowls. Have that cooking up. And then we are going to need some dried kelp. So if we go kelp, we have some dried, but we'll dry some more. Toss that in there, grab that out. And then to make the sushi roll, it is cooked rice and a carrot. So we're gonna need some carrots. Let's grab some carrots. We have our knife. We just need some cooked rice. And then wait, how do you make the actual roll? Just craft it. Just like so, put it on there, take our knife. We have our 3. So that's done. Now our salmon roll, we just need raw salmon sliced. So we need to take our salmon, put it on there a couple times. Got some raw salmon. And then the same thing for the cod, which I believe if we just do this. There we go. So we have that. Now we just need to make this, which we have that, which do we need 3 of these. And then we need 2 of these. And then we should be able to craft it. Just like so. We could take our cooked rice, throw that in there just so we have it. So we have our rice roll. So the last thing that we need to do is make the cooked whole crab, which is a super simple recipe. We just have to get the raw crab leg. And the best way for us to do this, in my opinion, after we sleep, is to make a golden egg and put it on a beach, and that should spawn some crabs. And to make a golden egg, so you need to get the chicken feed. So there's the cursed and there's the regular. We just need to make this regular, so we're gonna need some buckets of experience. So let's grab some buckets. Run over to our mob farm. Grab some buckets of experience. And then we should be able to craft this. Now all I do is need to find a chicken, which we don't really have to find one because we have chickens. And click it on there. And now we have our gold egg. And now if we find a beach, so we're going to do it away from the base so that it doesn't cause issues. But we can put a waystone there so we can get there. So now that we're at a beach, we'll do it on this opposite side. Right over here. Clear out an area. And then what we need to do is we need to actually grab our tablets and grab a waystone. Or not. Dirt. Can we grab dirt? We can grab dirt. Let's grab some dirt. And then if we make a 5x5, so we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Click that on there. Now this will start spawning crabs. What we can do is we can we got a crab leg. We got, I think we got everything that we need now. Yeah, we do. Wanted to put a waystone here. I know where it's at. I can always just put a map marker and say mob spawn, and we'll know where that's at. But we can go back home now, make our final dish. So we come in here. We need to put regular rice. So let's grab some regular rice. Like so. And dried kelp, which should have some right there. And then that should be it. So it should be like this with a bowl. We have our cooked whole crab. We toss that in there, and boom. Now all we have to do is go back here and claim our reward, which was some golden horse armor. And then we can actually go here and craft ourselves, I think it is the pig. So we go here, we need to make a pot, extra pot. But now we can craft the pig. We can go put the pig next to all of our other plushies that we made. So we need a pedestal. And we can put this one right here, just like that. And now we are 3 out of the 9 done before we can make the giant raw infused nutrient derivatives, which is Archie meat. So the next one is going to be the warden, so it'll be the next one that we tackle. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.